Hello, welcome to the side video of the rant I did not want to put in my GOTY video about Silent Hill F. So yeah, I was talking about how I'm disappointed in myself for not liking it as much as I wanted to like it. I really did want to like this thing a lot more than I did. But, okay, like, the pros is, like I said, I think overall, Silent Hill F is a step in the right direction for the Silent Hill franchise. This is good. And it's like, it's about time the series took bigger bites of larger issues. Sorry, I'm playing with this thing. Unprofessional, put it away. Yeah, like gender roles and stuff like that. That's juicy stuff. I feel like one of the reasons that the franchise has been, stagnant is that it's kind of been unwilling to get a little weird and dark on some certain things. I feel like there's a lot of potential in those sorts of fraught areas. It's why so many people like Silent Hill 2. It's why Downpour was especially tragic, because it almost had a point about the justice system and cops and stuff like that. Oops, almost did it. Chickened out last second. But yeah, like, this is a good, trajectory that we're on here. Because, like, when it comes down to it, a lot of mental issues, mental strife is caused by society's standards and not being able to cope with them, So, like, this makes sense. I've been saying for absolute ages that the series ought to have protagonists that are victims of larger, more systemic issues, like racism, homophobia, stuff like that. So tackling gender stuff, that is a slam dunk. Good idea. More pros. Love the themes. Cool themes. Loving how on the nose some of them are in the right way. Like, if this monster here, if this thing was in Silent Hill Homecoming, because it looks like a Homecoming monster, not gonna lie, I would be like, that sucks. This sucks. Don't make monsters like this. This is terrible. Women are scary. I hate them. I'm Alex Shepard. My dick is everyone else's problem. But because it's a teenage girl conjuring this thing, it's better for me, because it's like, oh, women scary. I hate them. I am one. That's scary. This is what they want me to be, is this fucking thing, That's got a lot more juice to it. That's, like, self-loathing is always more interesting than, like, actual loathing or misogyny or stuff like that. Internalized misogyny, juicy stuff. And yeah, it's just like, if it were a dude protagonist, it would just be like, ooh. So maybe that's hypocritical of me. I don't think it is, though. Also, art direction, graphics, super nice. Super nice. This game is stupidly pretty, gorgeous. I think that ties in nicely with, like, the gender themes and, beauty standards being corrupting and, like, a cage, a prison, stuff like that. A lot of things going on here with, like, freedom and choice and fate and not making your own choices, ad nauseum at the end when I was looking at the endings, unfortunately. And I like the general, like, lore and backdrop of this. Lost me a little bit with, like, how directly involved the gods seem to be in all this. I don't super like that. I prefer when Silent Hill is more of like a God doesn't love you, God doesn't care about you sort of thing. Like, you're just some little speck somewhere. You're a victim of an uncaring god of some sort. Like, this is just the reaction of the environment this god made, and it's not really monitoring you. Silent Hill is a force, like moths being driven to a flame. The flame doesn't have the intention to do that to moths, it's their nature. They can't help it. They're drawn to something hurting them. So I wasn't, like, super jiving with the fox god stuff being, like, so that directly involved in what seems to be going. I know a lot of it's, like, allegorical or symbolic and stuff like that, but it seems like a little too precisely involved for me, personally. But I do like the general, like, vibe of that mythology stuff is cool. I think it just took too much of a front seat for me. And that's, that's personal opinion. Whatever. Not objective at all. None of this is objective, obviously. But I think like this game fits pretty nicely into the canon. Big parenthesis fingers, not parentheses, what are these? Quote fingers, big quote fingers. The canon of other Silent Hill games. It has like the right elements of like folklore and spooky religion stuff. And it also has the right elements of personal drama and trauma and stuff. But it's like weird that there's like too much of each of them or something. Like they don't like gel great when there's an equal amount of them for me. Like I want a little more of one or the other for it to like feel balanced. I don't know why. So just straight up negatives, things I didn't like. And some of these got fixed in the patch. I'll go over it. Yeah, adding to my last positive point there is my first negative, which is, how can there be too much cult stuff and too much personal, psychological stuff? So like, here's the thing, and like I've never really thought about it before, but a thing that fans have been kind of worrying about for like the entirety of Silent Hill's existence is like, should the games be more about the cult or should they be more about the characters' mental states? That's been like the very big flame war of the ages of the fandom since its inception, basically. And also like the nature of the other world or whatever, but that's one of the big ones. Because it kind of like alternates around in each game until like the West got involved, and then it was kind of like more mishmashy sort of. And like these are all generalizations floating around me right now. Ooh. So there's always been a debate about how much cult stuff and what's the right balance of that stuff. So here I am doing it again for this fucking thing. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so we've come to SHF and it's got a lot of personal drama and a lot of cult stuff going on. And I should be grateful for this, right? But it's just not, like, for me, presented in a way that, like, flows well. And it's delivered in such little drips and drabs over such a long period of time that it's, like, it was really frustrating for me, which leads to my next bullet point. It's narratively cumbersome. And, like, multiple playthroughs are a slog for me. And like I said, there's just so much content and it's stretched very thin over the course of like 4 or 5 playthroughs. And like it does a little bit kind of a thing that I'm not really a huge fan of, which is like presenting stuff like way out of chronological order a little too much, because then it starts feeling like it's a crutch and they're kind of leaning on that to make it feel like a mystery sort of to decode. And I think it seems fine enough without being out of chronological order. It's still mysterious and good. It just felt like it was an extra confusing thing for confusion's sake to kind of present these things way out of order. And it's like, it's not a mystery to like tear up a book and then tell somebody put these pages back in order. It's just like a tedious task, really. And like what I'm saying basically is that it sucks to play a game 2.5 times and sink 40 hours into it and only have like about half the story. That's not reasonable for me. That's a feel bad. That feels bad for me. And also trying to look up the endings you missed is also a slog because it's all so disordered. There's certain notes that are in certain places in certain playthroughs and not other playthroughs that are like really important for the whole story. But then this cutscene is slightly different. And I also didn't like that, like, on subsequent playthroughs, the cutscenes are, you know which ones to skip. And it's like, not really, because the ones that are new are just like, the costume is different and nothing changes. That's not new. Wasting my time. Maybe I complained about this later. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here in my script here. But yeah, I had a nightmare of shuffling back and forth between 4, I think, different YouTube videos because of all the like minute tiny changes in each playthrough. That people are like, okay, you need to know about this note, but you also need to know about the stuff that the boss says in this one for this to make sense. That's a lot of work. Like, I don't know. Another bullet point, not enough quality of life to justify those multiple playthroughs, in my opinion. It sucks to play through things multiple times and then be basically like punished for trying to do it quickly, trying to rush through it. Like, you will miss out on notes that you will want to read. If you try to do this game fast because you want the story, you're missing the story by playing it fast and being like, well, I've been through here before. Whatever. That's rude. So, like, if you're desperate to learn the story, you're forced to play the game exactly as meticulously as you did for the first time you played it, lest you miss something important to understand the story you're so desperate to learn. And this could be solved pretty easily, in my opinion, by either giving Hinako an item that indicates this, or just changing the nature of the map, but to do like a Resident Evil sort of style map system, which is where rooms that still have stuff in them are displayed like as red or something, and rooms that you have cleared that don't have items in them, or important items at least, hopefully, those are a different color, like green or whatever. This could have worked. That could have been nice to do. Like, it doesn't have to be tedious, but it is. I think that's the thing that really bugs me about this game. It does not have to be this way. It makes the game worse that it is this way. Nothing's stopping them from making it the good way. That could have been nicer and a better presentation of the story and the whole thing, in my opinion. Like, oh, in a second playthrough, it's so much easier because, like, you get the better Omamori, and, like, you still have to look around for them meticulously or get a whole bunch of things and exchange them meticulously to get enough soul points, money, to buy the fucking things meticulously. It's too meticulous. It's too tedious. Like, oh, like, you can skip the school, you can skip the whole dang level, and then that's fine, that's good. There's things you will want to see in the school, so you shouldn't skip it, actually. Like, that's not okay to do to me. All right, next point, combat is not fun for me. If I have to play something multiple times, the combat better be piss easy, because I have unlockable, simple to use, fuck you I win items. You got the chainsaw, James. Or the combat better be really fucking fun and something I actively look forward to doing, instead of, like, groaning every time I gotta deal with more than one guy, which is every time I had to do that in Silent Hill F, I did that. And last bullet point, at least it's last in how I wrote this, I don't know. The puzzles, man, what the hell? What is this?
Do you just want the
Yeah, I don't know what it wants. Yeah, just tell me.
Turn the statues so the foxes and rabbits face away from one another.
So do the opposite of what the fucking note's telling me to do.
Let me...
What is that? What? Somebody tell me how this means that. That's not a puzzle. Puzzles are not vague instructions. They're more than vague instructions. There needs to be something you figure out during the process of solving the puzzle. It can't just be a vague singular fucking instruction that's not a fucking puzzle. You can't process of elimination these things. You can't look for further clues in other places for these things. There aren't, like, additional things to read that change the context or how you've read these other things. No, enjoy your singular sentence. Better hope you understand what the person who wrote it meant. It may as well be, like, a single sentence in, like, a language I don't read. Pointless. So pointless. And, like, I've only done normal mode, but a lot of those, they're bad too. All of them are, like, maybe one of these modes is, like, where the puzzles are good, but I've not heard that. I've not heard that at all from anybody. That, like, oh, you should have played the easiest one or the hardest one. That's what the good ones are. No one's praising the puzzles in this thing, so far as I know. So yeah, it's like, you read something and you better, like, intuit it correctly, or brute force it, or, like, stretch your imagination to within an inch of its life to figure out what in the world the puzzle writer meant by that. There's infinite ways to interpret these vague non-riddles, and there's no way to course correct. Like, the process should be like, ah, that was wrong. Why is that wrong? And you reevaluate your biases and the information you have at hand. You look for contradicting information. Reasons why the answer you provided is not valid, which you cannot do with one sentence that's just like, do this, because so many answers are technically valid and fit that parameter. They don't fail the parameters at all. So it's arbitrary feeling which one is right. That's not a puzzle. Sorry for the rant, not a puzzle. And you might be like, hey, wait a minute. VoidBurger, you hypocrite. This is real rich coming from somebody who likes Silent Hill games. Aren't they notorious for having very hard puzzles? And yeah, I urge you to watch my videos discussing those very puzzles, some of the most famous ones that are notoriously bullshit, and see how fair I think those are in those videos, actually. Just check that out for me and come back. They need more views anyway. I put a lot of work into those. No one cares about them. But yeah, like pretty much all those videos are basically pointing out how unfair those puzzles are. And like how some of them are out and out broken, capital B, broken, because of like localization issues, miscommunications between the art team and the programmers and stuff, you know, all sorts of bonkers things. And like about how the fandom has like reverse engineered why some of these answers are what they are, when they're actually just incorrect answers that were programmed in to be correct and were not the intention of the puzzle itself. And yes, Silent Hill is perhaps unfortunately known for hard puzzles, but some are legitimately only difficult because they are busted or like completely and cruelly unfair to the player. Like stuff that requires outside information, like stuff that's not in the game. Like, you need to know about the Canterbury Tales. That's not fair. Like, those are dog shit puzzles too, and they are not something that future Silent Hill games should be emulating. It's a relic of the past, in my opinion. Or at least it should be. And, like, this is not something that's gonna get fixed in any patch. Like, there's no way. You'd have to relocalize and retranslate a ridiculous amount of material to accomplish that. So we are stuck with these obtuse, opaque nothings. They're not puzzles. But yeah, that's the gist. Didn't respect my time, wasn't fun enough to justify multiple playthroughs, which you have to do to get to the story. I think that is just a really, really awful way to tell a story. You know, it's very gatekeepy in a way. It's mean to keep me hostage because I'm invested. And there's only so long I can tolerate being invested until like the tedium of something catches up to me and makes me realize, wait a minute, I don't care enough to keep doing this. Why am I doing this anymore? Like I didn't even play the Silent Hill 2 remake twice. And I liked that. I didn't have major complaints about that, except like there was a few too many monsters. Like it was basically totally great. And I just, I'm at an age where like I said, I have a finite time on this earth. I cannot play these games this many goddamn times anymore unless I enjoy them, like really enjoy them. I get a lot of joy out of them. And unfortunately, this ain't it. Thanks for watching me complain about that. Bye. Join my Patreon, I don't know.